Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and you guys, the day is finally here. So many of you have asked for it. It's been requested time and time again. I was not ignoring you, and I'm so excited to bring the review, my thoughts, my love affair with the Viseart Grande Pro Volume 2 palette. You guys know, if you've been here for any longer than a month, you know how much I love this palette. I've been playing with it so much over the last like 3 months, and I actually put it in, I think it was at October's month end favorites. I'm not sure, but I'll link it up here. I put it in that video and I told you guys, like, look, I love it. I'm obsessed. I cannot put this palette down. It is so truly spectacular. And so many of you were like, I have to have it. I have to have it. You bought it. And then you were like, girl, hook us up with some thoughts. Tell us how to use it. What do we do? And so that is what this video is all about, you guys. It's going to go through the palette, what I think, why I love it, all the different finishes, the textures, and what you can come to know, expect, and love with this palette. So I am going to be reading and pulling the majority of my information as far as the written text off of the musebeauty.pro website. That is where I purchased the palette from. These are $175. Now, while I'm reading all of this info off of the musebeauty.pro website, it is also available on Beautylish, and I'm obsessed with Beautylish, so if that's more convenient for you or you prefer them, you can get it from them as well. Same price, same all of that. And it actually looks like they have the Viseart Grande Pro set, which is 1 and 2 for $325, or again, this one palette for $175. Now, I can't speak to whether or not the Volume Pro 1 is worth it or not, because I didn't pick that thing up. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard, you know, yes and no, this and that. But the Grande Pro, number 2, which is the one I'm talking about today, I have heard so many good things about. So anyways, I can't speak to Volume 1. So for any of you that are curious, I'm sorry. I'm hoping maybe there's some reviews online that go through swatches and talk about it. But for today, Volume 2, yes, queen, let's go. Oh, you guys, that was a second. So I know in YouTube land, that was like, you know, a split second there. But in my life, oh man, so I was kind of confused. I went back, and when I originally purchased this particular palette, they had a breakdown as far as what are the 6 columns, what's in the 6 columns, and they really did a great job at like breaking it down in a Q&A kind of style on their website, and I couldn't find it just now. So I don't know if it's there, if I'm missing it, but thankfully, Old School Page back on September, what was this? September 29th, Old School Page took a screenshot. So I will still be reading all of the information that is originally from their website. I just cannot find it on there currently. So let's go ahead and dive into the swatches, and again, the screenshot that I took as far as the breakdown of these columns. So it says here, what is the difference between the 6 formulas? And then they break down column 1, column 2. So we're going to start in with the swatches here. Column 1 is the crystalline highlighter. It is a sheer satin formula designed with a multi-layered crystal fleck, ideal for highlighting eyes or cheeks. And so you guys are going to go ahead and look at that. Look at how reflective it is. And this shade is actually one that I am wearing today near the inner portion of my eye. And these shades really kind of threw me for a loop at first, because when I picture like a crystalline fleck, when I picture what they just described, I envision something that feels much more like a highlight, something that is super beautiful, super bright, which these are all of those things. But these caught me off guard with how dimensionalizing these are. This and column 5 are like, holy crap, my go-to shades when I need to brighten up, bam, a look, something like that. Those are my go-to. I have a couple shades that are like my favorites. I'm wearing 3 of my favorite shades on my eyes right now. And I love that when you are looking at this first row right here, which this is the column we're working with. If I didn't, I don't think I already said this. We are going to be going through this in columns. So 1, 2, 3, all the way down. And all 6 columns are actually an entirely different formula from the next. So some of them are like a shimmer glitter, some are just glitter, some are this, some are that. And we're going to get into what they are, why they're special, and that's kind of the point of this whole thing. So when I look at this palette, one of the things that was the most like visually appealing for me was actually this row. And I love it because it's very clear looking at the palette. Hello, look at how insanely bright and beautiful and like reflective this row is. And just the way that they sit on and almost grab the skin but manipulate the light around your face, it is truly breathtaking. So for me, I guess I would best describe this first column right here as the highlights, which is exactly what they said. But I prefer using these in every single place that I just want to be like beaming to the Jesus, that is where I put these shades. Again, inner eye, brow bone, tucked up on like this whole area of the lid. If I want to really wake up my eye, love that. If you need to really waken up your lower lash line, like for me, for example, sometimes I have a difficult situation on the lower lash line where if I put any type of color down there, it closes my eye off. If I don't have any color, I feel naked. And so I love going in with these brighter highlight shades, and I'll actually just very lightly, like with my pinky, tap in, and I'll tuck it up under this lower lash line right on the inner V. And I feel like it does such a beautiful job at just shifting the light around my eyes and almost contorting it to where my eyes look like open and awake all the time. It is the craziest, most beautiful dance of light that I have seen, and I don't know, I love these shades. I think it's very well rounded and super inclusive, that as far as like skin tone and undertone and eye looks, this palette will serve you well, but these highlights specifically will serve you so well. Again, you have several that are pinky undertoned, you have a beautiful like nude undertone one, and then this white one is truly stunning. Again, this is the one I'm wearing on my inner eye right now over top of two other colors, of course, and I love this color because it not only reflects the light as like a white shimmer, but it also pulls a very blue icy color. So it technically reflects as like a blue shimmer glitter, but on the lid it kind of morphs into whatever other colors you have there. So for me, I actually have like a couple bluey yellow tones, so I'm able to pull and really use the blue undertone, but I've also used this on looks where I have just like pink all over the lid, and I find that even in the inner corner, that blue and the white, it all just comes together and still reflects perfectly on any eye look. I promise I will try to shorten my explanation of each column, but that one just really gets me going. So now we're going to dive into column 2. This one is the Prismatic Metallics. They are a medium to full coverage reflective formula layered with a large prismatic fleck. And again, that is how they are described on the website. These ones for me are the chunkier shimmers. They definitely, when they say medium to full coverage, do not be fooled. These things are so beautiful and reflective and shiny. What they're talking about when they say medium to full coverage is that when you apply them by themselves, they do carry a level of opacity to them that allows you to see through the color onto your actual lid. So for me, I use a lot of these either layered on top of themselves with a glitter glue to make it 100% opaque, or I will go in and actually dot these over top of another shadow just to get like that beautiful, super sultry effect of the glitter without being really caked up with product, if that makes sense. So I feel like this row, because it is about 50, I would say about 50% opacity, you have a lot of really reflective glitter that's sitting in 50% opaque shimmer, which is a beautiful combination, and I love the way that these sit on the eyes. This whole palette, I could tell you, it reflects the eye, it does all of that, because every single shade in here does, but the reason that I love this row specifically is I feel like these are the very dark toned topper shades, and I think that in today's makeup, I feel like a lot of people kind of forget or overlook that beautiful shimmery pop, even when you're doing a really like sexy, sultry look. That is where this row has come in, or column, my God, column. That is where this column has come in so handy for me. So anytime I do a really dark, sultry look, I have a difficult time keeping my eyes looking opened and awake because my eyes are very short and squatty and they just don't always carry color as well, which is understandable. Everyone has a different eye shape and everything works different for everybody else. But what I love about these shades is that I can apply them to the center or the inner portion or whatever of any dark, super smoky, super sexy, sultry eye look I have going on, and these still make the lid dance, but they don't brighten it up. They don't serve to go in there like with these ones and how these go in and they highlight and they add so much light and brightness. These don't add light and brightness. They just add like that glittery glimmer effect, because you don't always want to add a white color. You don't always want to have this, like, I love to have a beautiful like super lighted inner eye or a super lighted halo effect in the center of your lid. I love that look. But if you're really going for that super dark all over lid These are a great way to pop it, give it dimension without losing that deep, sexy feel that you have going on. So again, very different from other colors in here because they're not opaque. They don't make the lid darker. All they do is match the base of your lid and add that glimmer shimmer effect. So these are super, super beautiful. I apply everything in here. I should probably throw this out there. I apply everything in here with a glitter glue. That's how I prefer to do it. I'm sure that they would work great if you wanted to try other things, but this is one of the rows I would not mess with. I would use a glitter glue, and even on their website, they recommend that columns 2 and 6, which obviously 6 is the last one we'll get to, they do recommend using all of those with either like a mixing medium or a glue-esque option because they do have that glittery chunk to them and they will fall out on your face. So do not test the theory, boo-boo. I would definitely use a glitter glue with 2 and 6 like they suggest. But for me, I love a glitter glue with everything and it works so quick and so easy and so blendable. Oh, so now on to column 3. These are the chromatic foils. They are a full coverage formula created with a highly reflective polished finish. And these are your classic go-to all over lid shimmer moment. Huh, you guys, these are so beautiful, so opaque. These have so much pigment to them that the pink one on the very bottom actually stained my arm when I swatched it. Like I had to scrub a dub, 3 bitches in a tub to get that thing off my arm. It was so beautiful. And I don't mean stain in like a bad way. Obviously my arm isn't like prepped and it doesn't have a concealer base. It doesn't have anything down on it. So that happens sometimes. But the point is these are so reflective and beautiful and just like shimmery and shiny and splendid. But they also are so unique. These shades really threw me off because I expected there to be like the browns and the nudes and okay, like the usual colors. This is like what everybody's putting out. But the colors they put in here, especially in this third column to me, are literally so unique. Like this third shade right here, which is this green kind of emerald shade, oh my word. It is a perfect mixture of green and like an old school gold, and it reflects so beautifully on the lids. It is so smooth, and I'm telling you, I go in with any of these and I pat down that glitter glue. I go in with this color and it's like boop, 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 done. Like you don't need a ton of it and it works. Oh God, does it work to reflect the eye. And again, because each of these shades is a more unique undertone or a more unique variation of that color. Example, this one right underneath the green, much more of like a silver option. But you guys, let me put that down. This is like Tin Man silver sex appeal. Look, oh, look at that. Oh my God. Oh, I'm obsessed with these, and I love them because they're so thick and opaque in color that they are a very easy go-to on the path of like a quick, easy, dramatic eye. So if you're going in and you're like, look, I want it to be a super intense, like way more intense than what I have on right now kind of look, go in, you're gonna dust some stuff into the crease, give yourself like a nice deeper outer V right there. You can go in with any of these shades and a glitter glue, pap it all over the lid. It will take you literally no time to build up. These will not peel off. They will not be bunchy. The shimmers will not get like gunky on your eyelids. You know how sometimes if you work with shimmer formulas, you can feel them being like thicker in certain spots? These are not like that. The consistency in the formula is very beautiful and very consistent throughout every single formula in this column. It's just absolutely stunning. And I think that with all the different options for color you have in this row, there might only be 5 colors, but the 5 colors they chose will work for a myriad of options. You have this beautiful like bronzy color and a yellow that work for that nice kind of nude moment aesthetic. You have that pop of that green antique gold, which is like the fun kind of more alien-esque side if you were doing a fun look or you wanted that even for like an inner eye kind of highlight. Super beautiful. That silver right there matches so many like deep sultry gray to black smoky eyes. Oh my God, that's one of my favorite colors in this palette. I'm not wearing it today, but one of my favorites. And then this pinky purple shade is just like the go-to moment for so many of your pink, really super fun, reflective eye looks that you want to do. Oh God, I love this row so much because the opacity is what kills me. These are so beautiful and thick and they blend like a dream. With matte shadows, they blend into the crease. Like you don't have any issues there at all. So anyways, that is column 3. I am going to wipe my hand off so I can start over because your girl just can't stop swatching. I've swatched these 100 times and I just can't stop because I think they're so amazing. So next up is column 4, and these are the Luxe Metallic formulas. They are medium to full coverage with a rich jewel toned pigment payoff. And these look very similar if you're looking at them even next to each other, next to column 3. They do appear to be very similar. Both are like a nice, thick, rich shimmer kind of color. What really sets column 4 apart for me is actually the tone of the colors. They are so beautiful and so rich looking. Like, I look at these and these are extra, these are glammy, these are like vampy ass shades, and I'm crazy about them. Like, these are the I'm going dramatic today. These are those looks. And I actually have the blue shade right here is from column 4, which is what we're talking about. The silver is the one I swatched from number 3. And I want to kind of throw them both down because I think it's important to note a difference here. The column 3 is very reflective. They have that chromatic foil finish, very, again, intense, but in a different way. So the main difference I would say between column 3 and 4 is that 3 is vampy because the chromatic foil makes it so reflective, whereas column 4 is vampy because the tones are so beautiful and so lustrous. They're still shiny, they're still amazing. Let me go ahead and swatch a couple more. They're still beautiful, but you can see a difference in the level of finish. They're still shiny, reflective, all of that, but nothing like the actual light reflection that column 3 has. So if you're looking at it and you're like, what is the difference? I think it is reflectivity versus color. Both beautiful, all amazing, nothing against one column versus another, but just so you guys know, I feel like it's easy to look at a $175 palette and go, I'm sorry, what? Those are all the same. And in this case, especially with these 2 rows, it's so easy because I did the same thing. I'm like, there is no difference. But once you start applying them to the eye, playing with them, swatching them next to each other, you can see a big difference in how column 3, again, just reflects light so much more intensely with that chromatic foil finish versus the metallic, super beautiful, rich color that the other ones have. So I love column 4. I don't reach for it a ton. I am wearing one of the shades on my eyes today because I love the way that they blend. But as far as me using them, those are more of like a specialty, super glammy, vampy eye look. So I've played with all of them a little bit, but that column specifically, because it is geared for more of a like intense, really rich looking eye that would require like false lashes and that kind of thing, I just haven't played with it as much, but I have played with it and it's beautiful. All right, guys, it is time. We are there. It is column 5 time. Column 5 time. This is my favorite column. This is the Celestial Duochromes. They are a sheer to medium satin formula designed with a dual colored prism, creating a transcendent movement of color. Oh my god, you guys, I cannot stop playing with these. My favorite color in the entire palette exists within this row. It is this beautiful yellow shade right here. So let me break this down, okay? I love column 5 for so many reasons, but if I had to like group them all into one, all my reasons, put them into one little basket for you, it would be that, in my opinion, this column does what all the other columns do, put into one shade. Like, these reflect the light. Check. They have color that you can build. So if you're looking at them, like they said, it is a sheer to medium option, but I find that when I go in with glitter glue and I tap these all over, you can build them up to a beautiful, I would say like a 70 to 80% opacity on the lid. So they're super beautiful, they're super blendable, they reflect the light, they brighten the eye. These do so much without being gaudy. And what I mean by that is they're not like an over the top like iridescence where it's like, oh look, it's shifting from like green to hot pink. It's nothing like that. And I think that so often duochromes and that kind of chromatic effect, they can get a bad name. And these are the epitome, in my opinion, of what it means to be demure yet sparkly, soft but sexy. Like, these are that perfect balance of all the worlds and all the colors in this palette. For me, primarily, this has been my favorite column. This one in the highlight, which was column 1, those have been my favorites, and it's because of the way that they lighten and brighten the eye. I love using these very similar to how I use column 1, except I use these a little bit more just because I take them all over the lid and I'm able to get a nice highlighted effect, but these are a middle tone. So that's kind of what I did today, and I'll explain that a little bit more later. but for the most part, I can just tell you that these go on so beautifully. So now it is time for column 6. Column 6 here says these are the glitter toppers. They are a sheer to buildable matte formula with a large glitter complex, ideal for layering on the center of the lid, inner corner of the eye, or lips. This formula is recommended for use with a shadow transformer or sealer to set the reflective particles and maximize the textured reflectivity. And these shades threw me for a loop, girl, let me tell you. So I remember the very first shade that I grabbed out of these was actually this bottom one right here. And it was so interesting because it looks so powdery, and I can't explain this to you any other way than to say, imagine, like, we're used to seeing glitter set into a shimmer, so you have like the reflective and then the glitter, and you can see like that multi-dimensional shift of a glitter set into something that's already kind of shimmery and shiny. And these don't do that. Imagine a glitter set into like this type of a powder, like a face powder. This is the L'Oreal Infallible. It's a matte powder but with glitter in it, and I was like, who in the hell thought that would be a good idea? That is an awful idea. And I sat there and I was like, these are swatching so weird. They feel so like odd. They feel like flour. Like, what is going on? And these threw me off. But holy crap, are they beautiful. Now, they talk about using them with a glitter glue. Yes, I've already said that. I think this whole column, every single shade in here, you do need a glitter glue with. What that's going to do is give you the option to build the color or leave it a little less, but it's also going to allow the matte shade that these glitters are set in to really come forward and complement the glitter. So this is one of those areas where a juxtaposition is working so beautiful. You have the glit and glimmer and just shimmer, beautiful sexiness of these glitters. These are big, chunkier, loose type of glitter. So the way that they sit and reflect, it's like a big disco ball versus a little disco ball. These are a big disco ball in terms of glitter. You have some glitters that are so fine and so small in the way that they were made that they don't reflect as much light, but it's just because they don't have the opportunity because they're not as big. They're little. And these are big chunks of glitter that normally I would be like, oh, big chunks of glitter, like, not my thing. You guys know, like, I'm not always obsessed with the glitter, but the way that these are done, they're so sophisticated. They're a big disco ball. They really reflect that light on your eye and they look so beautiful. If you are looking for just like that light little pop. And I really love that they did these two colors specifically. Wow, these are so crumbly to the touch. It's so bizarre the way that all of these textures feel so different. But anyways, this blue shade and this green shade, I love that these were thoughts from Viseart. And I love it because these to me are two very overlooked type of tones, meaning the outer portion of the eye. Sometimes we want to be able to layer up and get like this beautiful, sexy, smoky moment on the outer portion, but you don't want it to be just matte. You don't want it to be one-dimensional. And these two shades being nice and dark really let you get in there. You can put them over top of other items, other shadows, without compromising that dark factor, but you still get the big, beautiful, chunky reflectiveness from the glitter. And they're just super, super beautiful. Now, as far as how I like to use this column specifically, I prefer these more so when I want like that little extra glitter, that little extra something that like a shimmer or a duochrome will not get. That's where I come in with these. Again, specifically this lower color right here in the pan, that purple one. I love the way that that looks because again, it's setting in glitter that's set in almost a matte type of powder, but when you apply it, it doesn't apply like a matte face powder does. It applies with a tiny bit of shimmer, so it just like matches and it lightly reflects the light behind the glitter. So it again just gives the glitter like a little bit more pop, and I love this shade so much. If I'm doing like an all over pink lid, I actually did one oh crap, I did a really quick look with my Huda Beauty, the new Nude palette, which has all those like beautiful mauve-y tones. I did a full video, I can link it up here. I review that palette and I give all my thoughts. And one day I was using it and I thought, you know what, this color would look so beautiful. So I grabbed this and just kind of tapped it near the inner portion and I just had like mauve through the crease. It was so nice and sophisticated, and the way that it paired up against that mauve crease was just so freaking fantastic. Like, it looked so beautiful. So I think the best way I could sum it up is that, do I get the most use out of column 6? No, but I think when you're going for that look, they are very like perfect for what you're looking for. And I think that these would probably be the two columns I use the least, quote unquote, would be column 6 and column 4. Just because, like I told you before, these are the much more intense, more really royal type colors that I just haven't been gravitating towards a ton lately, just because I've been loving like this more minimalistic feel. And then column 6, just because it's a little bit more finite of a purpose. Like I reach for it less because I reach for that technique less, if that makes sense. So anyways, those are all 6 columns. That is what I love, why I love it, and that is kind of the breakdown of the formula. Now from here, where we're going to go is we're actually going to dive into my eye look, and I'm really excited because not only did I get to play with this palette, but the Natasha Denona Gold palette. You guys, I love this. I had no choice but to pair this Viseart palette with this because I have not stopped using this. I can't. I won't put it down. You can't make me. I love this palette. It is so beautiful and blendable and sexy and amazing. And I, for the life of me, don't know why this is so good because I look at it and I'm like, it's just browns. But it's not just browns. Don't listen when they say it's just browns because it's the most blendable, beautiful, sexy toned brown palette. And it has all of these, like, oh, just like the mustard colors. I can't. I live. So we are going to be diving into the eye look, and this is where we are getting started. So we started off in the crease with the shade Dijon. That is one of my favorite colors in this entire palette, you guys. I worked it through the crease very haphazardly with all 3 of these crease colors from Natasha Denona. Her shadows blend like a dream anyways. So from there, I went in with the shade Teak, and again, just very nice, kind of ran that brown through the crease, mainly keeping everything concentrated toward the outer V because I knew for the inner portion of the eye, I was going to want to take it very nice and big and bold with the shimmers from the Viseart palette. So then I deepened it up just a little tiny bit with the shade Log, which is that nice deep matte brown. I wanted to give some type of depth without being like too much. I didn't want to be over the top, but I still wanted to be able to deepen it up and have it be complemented. So after I had all of those on, I went in and I took my Too Faced glitter glue and I pat that all over the lid, all the way toward the outer V of the eye. And that's because I knew, girl, I was about ready to hit up column 5, and I grabbed the beautiful, more purple to blue duochrome shift, and I grabbed that and I started putting that right toward the center of the eye, toward the outer V, and a little bit towards the inner V, mainly because I wanted to be able to blend it with the next color, which you guessed it, it is my favorite color in this palette, girl, that yellow. The yellow that is sitting directly above it, still in column 5. I am crazy about that color and the way that it reflects. You guys are looking at it for yourself. I don't have to tell you how beautiful it is. It is seriously so great. So then after that, I thought, you know what? I could stop here, but you know I'm not gonna. So on my finger, I took in column 4, the second shade down, which is a brown shade, and I stamped that very lightly with my finger on the outer V, and literally in 3 or 4 pats, I could just blend it out, blended it up, blended it in toward the other colors, and bada boom. Like, you have an entire eye look. These shades are so freaking amazing. They blended like a dream. I literally have nothing bad to say about this palette. Yes, it's $175, so it's obviously on the pricier side, but this is an artist dream if you are someone that loves to create really bold, beautiful, reflective looks. Viseart is a quality shadow. It is an investment shadow. It is something that, as a normal makeup person, do you need it? Definitely not. You will find amazing, beautiful, sexy, sultry shimmers and glitters and all of that. Affordable, you can find them in regular high-end, but this is a very, very high-end palette. Like, this is what I think they call like a luxury type item. That is where this falls, but it is so worth it. And when I purchased this, I was actually really afraid that I wouldn't be able to get any use of it because it's all shimmers. And I was like, oh my God, why am I buying an all shimmer palette? Is that even smart? And I think that this is just a beautiful complement to so many other palettes and to so many artist kits, which I think is what makes this even more valuable as an artist, as someone that, again, does maybe client makeup, something like that. These are so beautiful. A little will go a long way, and you will truly be able to create so many beautiful looks that are flattering on so many skin tones, so many undertones, so many eye looks, so many personal aesthetics, that this palette is just not a bad choice. It is truly stunning on the lids. I love it. And one more thing I wanted to touch on that was kind of all about that outer V area. This 4th row, which is where or 4th column, I keep wanting to say row. This 4th column is the one that I told you guys I don't use a lot because the tones are so rich. And when I went in with that brown shade, I was really nervous because, again, these are so rich in pigment that I was like, how's that gonna go? But I cannot reiterate enough how well all of these blend. I took a big fluffy brush and I literally just blended through the crease when this was all said and done, just to make everything look like, you know, extra no lines, extra blendy, extra perfect. And they blend beautifully. It doesn't matter that they were set with a glitter glue, that they're with a matte shade that's in a different palette. It doesn't matter anything, that these are all different textures. Like, I went in on my lid with 3 different textures from this palette and they all blended in beautifully and seamless together. I just think that this palette is amazing. So you guys, that is it. That is today's video. Please let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let me know if you love it. Do you hate it? Are you cool with it? Did you at least, if nothing else, did you at least love today's video? Leave all of that down in the comments. This video is for so many of you that either wanted this palette, you picked it up, you thought about it, whatever. Today's video is dedicated to you because I was looking and there are not a ton of very in-depth reviews for this bad boy, and I really feel like that's a shame because it's honestly amazing. So let me know your thoughts, your feedback down below. And oh, you know what? I need some gloss. Girl, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I don't feel glossy enough. Ooh, girl. That is so much better. So this is the L'Oreal Havana Camille Cabello lip gloss. If you're curious, everything that is on my face I will have listed down below. And you guys, I thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this video, I know it was like super casual and super sit down and talky, but I love these kinds of videos, especially when I can kind of throw information at you guys and let your brains like twist with it, because that's what I do. Anytime I watch a video like this where everyone's like, oh, it's boring, it's no good or whatever, I always sit there and I think about it and I'm like, ooh, could I do this? Hey, I have this shade, like, could I do that? And I think the best way that I could round this whole situation out would be to tell you guys that you don't need this $175 palette, but I challenge you to go into what you already have, and if you saw a shade in this that you thought was beautiful, if you saw something that you were like, holy crap, I'm so excited, I can't wait, go find that shade in the collection you already have, or find something similar to it and try whatever it is you're envisioning with that shade. Even if it's this eye look, just try it with what you have before you go and spend so much money on one palette that you may or may not even need. I will be the last person to tell you that you need an expensive eyeshadow palette. Do I think it's amazing? Absolutely. Is it still available? Yes, and I'm grateful it is, because I think there's going to be so many people that do end up wanting it. It's available on the musebeauty.pro. It's available on the Beautylish website. But at the end of the day, I do always encourage you guys, and you know this, I encourage you to go through what you already have, use that, and go from there. I also am planning, hopefully in the near future, to do a, you guessed it, it's been a while video, because those are my favorites when we go through and we test out products that I haven't used in, you guessed it, a while. So stay tuned for that. You guys definitely also make sure to like and subscribe down below if you have not yet subscribed. I put up new videos 5 days a week. It is a fun, fresh, lit time over here. That is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They go up bright and early my time, which is in northern Michigan, somewhere between 6 and 7 a.m., which is like wow early if you're on the coast of the other side of the world, on the other side of the U.S., because that's like real early your time. It's early my time. It's early all around. I want you guys to get to wake up, hang out with me. Mondays we do like vlogs, we bake, we do all kinds of fun stuff. And then the rest of the week, it's to chance. It's favorites, it's hate it's random palettes, it's palette roundups, it's, I mean, foundation reviews, it's everything, you guys. So leave me your thoughts. If you have any videos you want done, any suggestions, any products, anything like that, leave them down below and let me take a look at them and see if I can get them on my channel, you guys. Thank you so, so much for watching. And you guys, please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! I literally talked the gloss off my face. I didn't even know that was possible, and I've talked so much that I almost have rasp in my voice. Like smoker's rasp, you know what I'm talking about? That hoited, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Oh. Okay, so let's say, hypothetically speaking, I was going to actually take the 1 second in my life to fix my lip liner, but where's my brush? Hello? Put down below for you guys, as well as the beginning of the video. So for me, I guess I would best describe this row, or this column, not row, this column right here. No, stop. So for me, I guess I would, no, stop. Who are you?